I was born as a gypsy, and this is something that's very typical of Irish people anyway. And my father and my mother met in the war. They went to Ireland. We were starving. We had nothing to eat. So it was a very difficult family because we came from great poverty, great trouble. We moved to London when I was 4. We lived in slums, falling down houses. I would break into people's houses, steal cars, fight, run after girls. Half of my friends are dead. You know, the criminal life is short. It made me appreciate what I got later. And then I studied and I managed to get into an art school. I was 19. I got into it very fast. I made very beautiful portrait drawings of people. But very quickly, I got interested in art that was more free, more subjective, more romantic. Abstract implies a kind of freedom that crosses borders. And you can never say what it is. This is what I like, because I wanted to get at something that was deeper, that was more powerful. Then eventually, I made the 80s paintings. Backs and fronts is like a figurative painting. I started out with 4 figures. All these people are living and working in the building, and this building is next to this building. Then I kept adding. Then it turned more into a city. And of course, nothing in the city is fitting. And it's all like simultaneous and crowded. I was painting a picture of what struck me about urban life. In America, abstract painting had become useless and decorative. And I decided to bust it open and put back the color, the feeling, the titles that help people. It goes from the stripe to the building block. The stripe, of course, is like this. And when it gets wider, it turns into a figure or a tree or a column. And then when it's short, then it turns into a brick. This has an implication of building, of construction. It's like original Lego that you can keep building and building, and it's always different, it's endless. And the wall of light paintings, I started the idea in Mexico, looking at the temples and the walls and the way things are built. Heat is full of a warm but dirty light. There's dirt in my paintings. You know, a lot of brown, a lot of black, and the whites are never clean. And this low, warm heat that comes off the painting. Anything that happens to me, I convert it into energy. When my son died, I remember I painted a painting, 1983, a very dark painting. And when I finished the painting, I didn't even look at it. I walked out of the studio and I threw the brush on the floor. And I didn't go back for 3 months. Then my paintings got very dark and very aggressive. Only in the last maybe 5 years that I kind of let that go. My son is extraordinarily important to me and brought love and forgiveness back into my life. I start looking after my son, which I do 50% of the time. I make a painting for him every year. One night we were up in New York and it was misty and he couldn't sleep. He was only 3 and he was playing with the leaves on this big plant. And when he was playing with it, his breath became very deep and relaxed. And that was a really wonderful moment. There we were. I was looking out at the city and the mist coming in from the river. It was swallowing up the bottom of the buildings. And the next morning, I went to the studio and I made a black and white painting. It's called Oisin's Breath.